Hello and welcome to She Talks Beauty, Biz and Bread. Thank you guys for joining me today for yet another episode. Today I'm talking about what is a social network, do we utilize them in the way we should, and how can we use them to help you in business, which is the selling of products and services. Okay, a social network, guys, I love a good definition by now, is described as a network of social interactions and personal relationships. That's one way it's defined. And then the second way is a dedicated website or app which allows users to communicate with each other via comments, pictures, etc. So the second definition obviously refers to a lot of apps that we are all aware of and users of, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, the list goes on. I would say the first definition is focused on our more personal social network, the people that we speak to intimately. Okay, and I really want to look at those two different spaces and how we're navigating them and actually question what is the original intent of these platforms that we now use so, they're so readily and available to use because the influencer industry right now, UK, US, I've been researching online, is a billion-dollar industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they are using the social networking platforms to do all their marketing. They are raking in huge amounts of money. Okay. And I think that's great from a business perspective. They are utilizing something, um, you know, to make money because it's there. We live in a world that there's an abundant amount of money, remember? But however, are we just being sold to in the process? Or are we, as amazing, powerful, beautiful people, making sure that when we are going on there, that we are trying to use those spaces to market, to sell? I think there was an original intent, for example, Facebook, when it first started, to connect people up, and it was very much about pictures and comments. But I think the world has moved very much more towards displaying an image rather than it being a way of connection. It's how do I promote and market and sell myself, but not to sell myself for profit, but to sell myself to people I know, which I think is scary. I think it's problematic. And if you really, really sit there and think deeply, I want to challenge all of us who are on social media. When you are putting up images, are we aware that this is just a snapshot of our lives in the same way that when we're seeing them, it's just a snapshot? Are we aware that most people are not going to snapshot their deepest, darkest moments? And there are some amazing people out there bringing consciousness to some really deep issues. Me, myself, at Rose Tinted Financial Services, I talk so much about mental health and my personal journey, as well as my work with people like such as the Mind Charity, and so on. And I also like to bring money up because it can be sort of like a taboo subject, and even something again that people want to portray that they have lots of it. So I like to talk openly about my journey with debt and the fact that I've always worked, but I had an issue with money management, and once I became more knowledgeable, financially literate, that is when I was able to pay off debt and actually begin to build wealth rather than looking like I was wealthy. Those of my friends who I used to go out with from Thursday through Sunday would have had no idea I was having a debt crisis. I didn't have an idea that I was going through a debt crisis for a certain period of time because I wasn't monitoring, I wasn't tracking. It was very short term thinking. And I had the money to buy my dresses, I had the money to go out and pay these entry fees, but when thinking about who am I and looking deeper, what is going on in my bank balance? Do I have enough to survive beyond the next 3 months rather than to the next paycheck? That is when my eyes started to open. So I really do want to challenge us to have a think about these social networking platforms we use and just making sure that our eyes are fully open and we are conscious that it's a snapshot. The intention is that it's a space for us to have a look and perhaps have a little bit of relief. But these businesses are literally marketing and making multi-billion dollars um, continually, day after day, week after week. So just be conscious of that. Conscious of marketing means that, people are trying to sell something. So they're going to have their bias, their opinion, influencers. There's an amazing woman that I follow that shows you all the editing on photos that you can do. And she'll show you like her photos with the cellulite and then how she can take it off. And for me, that reminded me that my real beauty that I see in the mirror, that's the truth, not when we're putting the filters on the apps, which are fun. But actually, I spoke about it, I think it was on episode 2, where I was talking about being able to say, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am valued, I am loved, before I've done my hair, before I put my makeup on, ready to go and stand up on some of the stages, because I need to know that it's the me before anything is enhanced, that I myself and you who are listening are beautiful and enough just in your original form. The creator made no mistakes when he made you. Okay. So, yeah. And I want to end on this is for me as well as it is for you guys, our personal relationships. That's the first definition. Those are the social networks that we should be putting the quality of time into. The people in our household, whether that be you live with your partner, your parents, your children, your flatmates, those people that we're having interactions with day to day. Those are the people that we should be taking time out to listen to, not to listen to reply, but actually to listen to. Do we also show them the same mercy and compassion that we would to perhaps a stranger on the internet? What are your expectations? Do you give them time, quality time to share about their day, amazing things? Are we speaking life when we're having interactions with the people in our closest spaces? Because those are the real 95% of our time, not the snapshots on the social networking platforms. It's in our day to day. That is where we truly are growing and consistently speaking. We have the power to lift somebody up and promote them in their business idea, promote them in, this new space that they want to operate in, or the idea that they want to produce something. We can speak life into that. But if we're too distracted by these, I said it was for me as well, then sometimes we're trying to rush interactions to make room to speak to people from a distance. So I want to challenge us to think, to stop and think and create some quality time. Perhaps you say to yourself, I'm going to cut my phone use and social networking use down for half an hour every day. Yeah. Some of you are probably like, oh my gosh, heart's beating as we speak right now. I'm gonna try it as well. It's hard for me. This is also like my business. It's somewhere where I go to watch my sermons. Like I understand the amazing things that we can do now with these phones, with technology, but I am really, really conscious that we need to give more care and attention to those in our immediate personal relationships, family, and friends. And the very last point I'm going to make is if you do have a business idea, a product or service, I really want you to encourage you to reach out and access some networking groups. I would be nothing and nowhere without some of the amazing mentors, coaches, also the people in my local network that we have our regular meetings, steering groups. They're amazing. They keep me going, they keep me accountable because I'm a human being. Although I have an amazing passion for what I do, I need people to lift me up too. I also love that I can be a voice of hope for somebody else. You need to be around like-minded people so that when the going gets tough, they know what you're going through, they can help and support. So yeah, I want to encourage you to do that. Do not go alone. The biggest changes have come in my business when I've collaborated with others. And it really just boosts your confidence, but also your social network in the right way. I want you to think about the value that you bring to interactions and to value the people that we're interacting with. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon.